territory. Well, let's speak now to our environment correspondent, Navin Singh Khadka, who joins me now. Welcome to you. Thanks very much for being with us. How many kind of cases have we heard of this over the past 2 years, of COVID jumping from animals to humans?
Well, from animals to humans, there have been in the past, we have seen a number of cases in terms of other viruses. But now, when we're talking about from animals to humans, there are few limited cases. But then what scientists are saying is this is something that we need to closely monitor, because the mutation is the real issue. The viruses can mutate if animals are becoming massive reservoirs. And then officials, for example, in Hong Kong have said that the the person in the pet who's working there did contract it from the hamster, as you mentioned. They need to further solidify this. But what they're saying is it's not about just seeing case by case. What they're saying is that we need to make sure that any animal, whether in zoos or wild, they shouldn't become a reservoir where the virus can mutate and come back to humans.
So what do you make of Hong Kong making this decision to cull all these hamsters?
So, see, as you can see, it's a decision taken by a government, something that happened in Denmark as well in the past. And that's quite controversial. People will ask questions, and some are also calling it ethical. But then authorities say that, if they didn't do that, then there's a massive risk. So it depends, who do you talk to? We don't have one definitive answer. But what our story is basically about, what scientists have told us, is that there's this massive wildlife that needs to be monitored, because so far the World Animal Health Organization that you mentioned earlier has found 625 cases of this virus jumping from humans to animals, and most of them were in zoos or enclosures or pets. Now, only one case so far in white-tailed deer in the US or Canada has been caught. It's found to have virus from humans, and that's why they're further worried that we need to have this massive surveillance, which is largely not happening.
So if there were to be found many cases of this virus in an animal population, how hard would it be to control?
Well, that's the question they are trying to thrash out, basically, you see. So culling is definitely, some would suggest, others would question that, and then others are also suggesting, how do you manage? First of all, you need to identify where are these risks. For example, the white-tailed deer, massive population coming in touch with human settlements. There might be other similar wildlife that might be in touch. Or, for example, they talk about sewage going down to their habitats, or the garbage, the trash, the rubbish that humans produce, reaching out to animals. There are several ways. And also, not to forget the vaccines, which is being developed, and several trials. That's why they call it targeted surveillance. We need to have this targeted surveillance where it could be happening.
OK, thank you very much for joining us, Navin Singh Khadka, for the update there.